Live and on demand from the WNY News Now studios in downtown Jamestown. This is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now on this wacky Wednesday. I'm Justin Gould.
And I'm Jonathan Schultz, filling in for Matt Hummel. Happening now, a former county employee pleads guilty to theft of funds.
Plus, the deets on CART's new summer schedule. But first, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is standing by with a live look over Presque Isle Beach. Looks nice out there, Dakota.
It does. Hey, Justin and John, and happy Wednesday to all of you out there. And it's almost looking like beach weather. Not quite yet, but we're going to get there. And you can see the camera bouncing a little bit with that northwest wind of 16 miles per hour. But we are starting to warm it up. It's warmer than it was yesterday already. Here's First Defense Doppler. We've had just a few light rain showers passing near Rochester, but that's not impacting us. The majority of the day will be dry, but there is a small chance, I stress small, about a 20% chance of an isolated shower through the afternoon, but the majority of the day will be dry. So here's the forecast, partly to mostly sunny through the afternoon, much warmer than it was yesterday. Again, there's that isolated shower chance, about a 20%. High temp range 58 right at the immediate Lake Erie waterfront, 67 while inland with a southwest wind averaging 7 to 14 miles per hour. We'll talk about that warm-up that comes over the weekend. Plus, will we finally get rid of the rain for a while? We'll talk about it with that Brotherhood Property Maintenance 7-Day a little bit later on in the show. Justin and John?
All right, Dakota, certainly hope so. Thank you very much. Our top story, the Assistant Treasurer for the Chautauqua County Water and Soil District pled guilty Tuesday to stealing more than $4,000 in county funds. New York State Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli says that Deborah Kelly pocketed cash fees she collected from the public instead of depositing them into the bank. DiNapoli's office discovered the gap during an audit and investigation in which they partnered with Chautauqua County District Attorney Patrick Swanson. The 48-year-old from Portland resigned after 26 years of county employment and admitted to stealing the cash between 2012 and 2014. Now, she's agreed to pay the money back in restitution, and she pled guilty to misdemeanor petty larceny in that case.
And a Village of Cassadaga woman is facing charges after she allegedly violated an order of protection Sunday. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office charged Shayna E. Love, 28, with first degree criminal contempt and second-degree unlawful imprisonment. Deputies said Love violated an order of protection after she prevented a victim from leaving a residence for a period of time. Love was arrested Sunday and taken to Chautauqua County Jail pending arraignment. She is set to appear in the town of Arkwright Court at a later date.
And New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo has signed legislation allowing judges to reduce prison sentences for victims of domestic abuse who committed crimes while defending themselves against their abusers. The Democrat says the Domestic Violence Survivors Justice Act he signed into law yesterday allows judges to change a sentence from incarceration to community-based programs, considering more effective in rehabilitation services. Now, advocates for domestic violence survivors say the law will aid women who have been incarcerated after being convicted of crimes related to their protecting themselves or family members from their abusers.
CARTs will be expanding their service this summer. Chautauqua County Executive George Borrello and Department of Public Facilities Director Brad Bentley made the announcement Wednesday. Borrello said that by writing the CART system and listening to passengers' feedback, officials determined that expanded service was not only needed, but necessary.
Riding the buses, talking to people is where we learned that from people, for example, that they could take a CARTS bus to the grocery store, but by the time they're done shopping, there's not a CARTS bus to take them back from the grocery store. Little things like that are lifestyle issues, that quality of life issues that we need to address.
CART City fixed routes in Jamestown, Lakewood, Celeron, Falconer, and Dunkirk. They will be operating on Saturdays for the 2019 summer season. Right now on WNY News Now.
To see really some amazing opportunities for a lot of people in Jamestown. John, I personally toured with the county executive and the director of public facilities back in December. They were handing out candy canes to people. A lot has changed since then, certainly weather-wise. The snow is gone, and them announcing that that expanded hours will be available. And I know just right here specifically in the city of Jamestown, a lot of people utilize that cart service, and one of the biggest problems that Borello and Bentley and the other great people behind the scenes running carts kind of discussed today was that you can get dropped off by a bus, you do your shopping, say at Farm Fresh Foods, and then there's no bus to pick you up again. And I'm sure that's probably pretty nerve-wracking for a lot of folks. So it's great to see that there is going to be that alternative. And then certainly down the line, Borello talked to us today about how if they can get more grant funding, they'll expand the program. And they'll have things like a mobile app possibly where they could track where buses are and monitors for people to be able to see, when they're coming. So it's really great to see such expansion. And really, too, as we head into this summer season, I know you going to JCC, this past semester, you've met a lot of people from outside the area. I'm sure they probably could utilize carts if they don't have a car.
JCC,
Yeah. So, and go to a lot of places, not just to say you're getting groceries, but you're going out with friends, and I'm sure that would even be a good program for tourists from outside. So, pretty cool to see either way. So. But speaking of John, it's great to have you here. It's too bad that Matt is still off on his bereavement leave. So thoughts and prayers are with Matt and his family. But it's good to have you here in the studio for the next couple of days. We love having our Jonathan Schultz, and who knows, maybe if you do such a good job, maybe Matt could just take a. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Matt. But no, so it's good to have you here. Thank you for being with us. I want to check in with the comments and say hello to everybody. David says, I've had carts strand me at the doctor's. And you know what, David? A lot of people have told that. That was a lot of the feedback that Borello and his colleagues got. So that's one thing that they're really, really trying to address. Gary says, carts shouldn't only do it for summer. It should be all year round. And certainly a good idea nevertheless. Saying hello to Shanda, to Scott, to Donna. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Hello to Cindy. Hello to Joanna. Great to see all these great faces. Hopefully you all are doing well. And again, hello to David. Hello to Pam. And hello to Kyle. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Hello to Joseph and Alberta as well. We love having you here. We have a lot more to tell you about. Coming up in just a bit, a local congressman is fighting to keep funding for diabetes research.
But first, details on a new law that could require teachers to learn how to use life-saving drugs. Dakota?
We have Link's meltdown back here, so take the News Now cam. We'll have weather coming up in just a couple of minutes. Hopefully we can get it fixed. Stay tuned.
Live and on demand, you're watching WNY News Now.
Now open in downtown Jamestown, Pearl City Hops, restaurant and tavern.
I have some real old-timey dishes on there that I'm just giving new life to. Like there's a shepherd's pie on there that's going to have some bison in it, real thick hearty gravy. Then I'm also doing beer flights. We're pairing it with a set of sliders, a set of tacos, and a set of mini rolls. So everything's gonna have its own pair, so you can get a taste of a little bit of everything and all the beers. We don't want to be known as the restaurant in the hotel. We want to be known as Pearl City Hops.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news. EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Happening now, a legislative proposal in Albany would require new teachers to complete training on how to use an EpiPen if a student suffers a severe allergic attack. The bill is intended to use free, quick training sessions to ensure teachers can administer auto-injectors in the event of an emergency. It's one of 3 allergy-related proposals this year. A second would require restaurants to post more information about items with potential allergens, while a third would require restaurant staff to train staff on ways to prevent allergens from accidentally getting into the wrong dishes. The legislative sponsors of the bill are planning to detail their proposals at a press conference today.
And Congressman Tom Reed is fighting to save funding for a federal diabetes research program. Reed, along with Democrat Diane DeJet, are pushing legislation that would reauthorize and increase funding for special diabetes program for type 1 diabetes. That is a decade-old federal program that's currently providing research at the National Institutes of Health for $150 million a year to study type 1 diabetes. Reed said unless Congress acts, the program, which was created back in 1997, to develop new ways to treat the disease, is set to expire at the end of September. Now, since the program was created, it has contributed to more than $2.7 billion towards diabetes research and has already resulted in several significant breakthroughs and discoveries, according to Reed's office, many of those which have helped develop some of the newest treatments now available to patients.
A new study says that parents simply just locked up their guns, then up to a third of gun suicides and accidental deaths among children and teens could be avoided. Meredith Wood is digging deeper for us in today's Health Minute.
13 million homes in the U.S. have both children and guns. And a majority of those guns aren't safely stored, locked up, and unloaded. And new research suggests that if adults simply locked up their guns, the number of children and teens who are killed by firearms each year could drop by up to a third. That's according to a study published in the journal JAMA Pediatrics. It analyzed home gun ownership data from 2015. That year, guns injured nearly 14,000 minors and were involved in the deaths of another 2,800. Shockingly, the survey found nearly 800 of those deaths happened when guns were not locked up. So what would happen if people made just one small change and properly stored their firearms? Well, the lead author of the study says in no small way, it will result in, quote, substantial reductions in firearm suicide and unintentional fatalities among U.S. youth. Even if just 50% of those people locked up their guns, 251 children's lives would have been saved. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
Meredith, thank you.
Well, a day after New York State Senator Chuck Schumer declared war on robocalls, the FCC has now vowed to get in on the fight. The agency's proposal would give phone companies authority to block the calls by default. And that means you wouldn't really have to do anything. You wouldn't receive those calls anymore at all. The technology to do this already exists, but companies have not released their solutions over fears they could be considered illegal. Now, if approved, the FCC's proposal would squash those fears. It could take effect as early as later this year. Now, one study says that Americans received more than 26 billion robocalls last year. That's almost twice as many in 2017. And John, we talked about this yesterday on the broadcast. Senator Schumer, being very vocal, saying something has to be done. Today, the FCC following that up, and I've talked about this before, but I have AT&T as my service, and there's an app called Call Protect, and it tells you who, like, it gives you like a call log, and then it goes through and it tells you who it blocked. So like this is from just last month. I haven't gotten as many robocalls, knock on wood, because I got a different number, so knock on wood that I don't get anymore. But it's kind of hard to tell, like it's not focusing properly, but it tells you when someone calls if it's a fraud or not, and then you can choose to have the app completely block it, and then you never hear from them again. So it's kind of cool. You still obviously have the option to answer if you want to, but who would want that really? So interesting. What do you think? Do you guys get a ton of robocalls? I know that the other day actually someone called the newsroom, and it was like one of those automated like voices, but it was in complete like Mandarin or Chinese or something. I think
I've had that before. Yeah, I've
it's really weird. I know poor Rory gets it all the time. So, but what are you gonna do? So, hopefully everybody is having a good day out there. Lots and lots and lots of sunshine. Certainly a beautiful day in Jamestown. I want to check in and say hello to Andrew and hello to Amber. Hello to Kyle is here. Hello to Robert as well. Hopefully you all are having a great day. I know things aren't 100% warm out there, but at least it's better than that. Yeah. This morning I had frost on my car, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? Mm-hmm. So hopefully that won't stay around for too much longer. Coming up next, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter, he will let us know how long this sunshine will last.
And later, results of Congressman Reed's Congressional Art Show, which local artists came out on top, when WNY News Now returns.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
Turn to Brotherhood Property Maintenance for all your lawn care and landscaping needs, no matter the season. Brotherhood Property Maintenance does it all, from professional plowing during the winter months to expert landscaping all summer long. Count on Brotherhood Property Maintenance for mowing, landscaping, tree work, spring and fall cleanup, plus snow removal. Serving both commercial and residential lots, check out Jamestown's fastest growing landscaping crew on Facebook or call us right now to book an appointment.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
First Defense Weather, the Southern Tier's only live and local weather source. Now, here's Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter.
And welcome back. And the graphics are back too. A big round of applause to our engineers who worked very hard over the past couple minutes getting our graphics back. So the pollen counts, I don't believe this is correct. The total pollen count is 15 pollutants per meter, but that's what came in this morning. And the tree pollen has spiked up once again to high as we're starting to lose the rain. 46 over 35. Look at where we should be at 68, and 0.02 inches of rain, just 0.02 of an inch over the past 24 hours. The majority of that was in the afternoon yesterday. And Mother Nature might not have been giving us the best of herself over the past 72 hours, but she gave us a great sunset. Look at this beautiful sunset picture that came in from Chautauqua Lake. Thanks to Susan for sending that in. That is just heavenly bliss right there. And of course, the sunset was even good out in Cattaraugus County. Justin took this picture last night, and actually he tweeted it to me. So again, the sunset last night was gorgeous, and we're not going to have a sunset like that tonight, but hope you enjoyed it. Now, I mentioned this yesterday talking about the water levels on Lake Erie. The current water level is 574.34 feet. That's actually about half a foot above the average to where we should be this time of the year. And that actually breaks the old May record that was set back in 1986 of 574.05. So again, this is something we're going to have to keep an eye on. If the water level continues to rise, that could cause a lakeshore flooding risk as we go into the summer. High pressure ridge is built in across the Northeast. That's why it is mainly dry, but there's a cold front back here. After we shove this cold front through, there will be the chance for some rain showers tonight, but after we shove that through, we will start to warm up once again. And as we zoom you right into Western New York here, or should I say the actual DMA here, you can see we don't have anything showing up on radar, and it's going to remain that way through the early afternoon. So here's Future Scan, nothing going on. Now, the computer model doesn't really pick up on it, but there is the chance for a small isolated shower late this afternoon, but about 2 in 10. That's it, a 20% chance. Tonight, scattered rain showers come our way with that front that moves through. And then as we move that front out of the area, it starts to clear out tomorrow, leading to, again, partly sunny skies tomorrow. And the temperatures really start to warm up as we start to push another warm front through the area. And talking about warmer temperatures, the Climate Prediction Center believes that we're going to have this big ridge that's going to set up across the southeastern U.S. That's going to push all this warm moisture into the northeast. And this is a classic pattern. Colder out to the west, warmer out to the east. So again, if you're looking for spring, it's coming, or summer, it's coming. So tonight, scattered rain showers will redevelop once again, but it won't be as chilly. We're down to 47 degrees with a westerly wind. Tomorrow we'll start around 49 degrees, a good start to the day. Clouds and sun will mix, and then as we go into the afternoon, much warmer, 67 degrees, sun and clouds mix. Future is coming up right now, powered by Brother Property Maintenance. 67 tomorrow, 69 on Friday, and we have upped the rain chances slightly over the weekend, but neither day is a total washout. 70s on Monday, and we go back down to the 60s on Tuesday. Sports is next. Don't go away.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
Please, give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
this danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please.
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
Move over.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at phonezoneshop.com.
Happy Hump Day, sports fans, and welcome back to WNY News Now. I'm Norm Rodriguez with a look at sports. Later today, both the JV and varsity Jamestown Red Raiders softball teams will be hosting conference games against the Orchard Park Quakers. Both teams were supposed to have games yesterday against the Dunkirk Marauders, but both games got postponed. The JV game for Jamestown will start at 5 o'clock. While the varsity game will start at 7 o'clock. The Buffalo Sabres now have a new head coach. On Wednesday, the Buffalo Sabres hired Ralph Kruger, who will be the team's 6th head coach in the last 8 years. Kruger's other NHL head coaching experience was back in the 2012-2013 NHL season, which was cut to 48 games during an NHL lockout. In his one season as head coach for the Edmonton Oilers, Kruger's record was 19-22-7. Besides coaching Edmonton, Kruger was also an associate head coach for Edmonton from 2010 until this past season. Tonight, the NBA Eastern Conference Finals will commence. With an 8:30 tip-off, the Toronto Raptors will be on the road against the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 1 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. The Bucks got to the third round by knocking off the Boston Celtics in 5 games in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Meanwhile, Toronto got to the third round by knocking off the Philadelphia 76ers in 7 games in the other Eastern Conference semifinals. Tonight's game will be televised on TNT and can be viewed on the NBA app. That's it for sports today. Justin and John, back to you.
Okay, Norm, thank you. Today, Congressman Tom Reed announced the winner of the 2019 Congressional High School Art Competition. Reed, in a news release to the media, announced that Allegheny Limestone High School senior Ashlyn Schumann won first place for her oil-painted sunflower. Schumann and her parents will be invited to travel to Washington, D.C. for a reception on June 24th with all the winners of the Congressional Art Competition. Schumann's artwork will be on display in the United States Capitol for 1 year in the Cannon Tunnel.
Yeah, that's a really great sunflower.
Yeah.
Certainly is. And you know, they do this every year where they take submissions from high schools and all across the district, and you know, for a full list of who you know is also going to be displayed in Reed's office. That's up on our site. Like you said, so it's really amazing. And Dakota, we always talk about this, but you know, something like this, I mean, like that really takes some skill.
It actually doesn't even look like a painting. It looks like somebody took a photograph of a sunflower.
Yeah,
So
it really does. So
that is really, really cool. It's really good.
Good for them. Good for them. So. A lot of people are looking towards the skies today because they're so happy to see, for once in a while,
that big orb is back in the sky.
Yeah.
What is that?
What is that? Is it a sunflower?
It's aliens. Let's take a look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. And again, the Climate Prediction Center does believe we're going to see a big ridge of warm air that's going to set up across the southern United States. That is going to move its way across the Northeast. So spring and summer-like temperatures are definitely on the way. Here's the Brotherhood Property Maintenance 7-day. And we remain into the 60s over the next couple of days. We start the warming trend over the weekend. How about 77 next Monday? Now, there still is some, you know, it's still a little bit in the middle, but I'm still split in the middle over the second half of the weekend into early next week. Some models are still keeping us in the 50s. Some are trying to spike us into the 80s, so I'm going straight in the middle with this, but we should have a better handle on that over, as we go throughout the next couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, just to, like yesterday, you had 80 in the forecast, right?
No, I didn't.
No, you did not. Okay.
No.
I did see some weather people say that, like, there was going to be, like, an 80.
Yes.
And then today I see them come up into the 60s. So you're pretty confident at least?
Well, you know...
Please?
You know, well, with this, I'm going straight in the middle, so
okay.
We'll see.
Way to
We
be
still
a
have a couple more
diplomat.
days to work on this, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well,
that's the best thing I can say at this point.
Way to be diplomatic, Mr. Hunter. Thank you. Let's all just keep our fingers crossed. So, saying hello to Lori, hello to David, hello to Joanna, hello to Andrew. Thank you all for joining us today. If we didn't give you a shout out, real easy. Drop us a like, a share, a comment, and become part of the show. You can always join us tomorrow for another
Can
edition.
I get a shout out?
No.
Or are we not allowed to?
No, we don't. It's not about us. Darn.
Just kidding. We love you.
We love you guys. And John, good job, as always. We always expect this. So, here's a live look at the what is this? The DoubleTree camera. We got Dakota.
Oh my.
Okay, well, enough for the sillies. Have a great day. Lori, enjoy your day off of work. If you missed anything we talked about, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and that mobile app. Search it up right now on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. See you tomorrow.